Hey, what's up guys, Z here, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing the KZ Es4s. But before I do that, I just want to give a shout out to Gearbest for sending these out to me to review, so thank you Gearbest, and as always links to the Gearbest website for this product will be in the description below. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get started. So these are the Es4s, the ones that came before these were the Es3s, which are right here. So in terms of design, these Es4s look very similar to the ZS10s. So here's a side-by-side comparison between the ZS10s and the Es4s, and as you can see, the Es4s are slightly smaller and they also have this curve at the edge, and they're also not as thick. Let's now cut straight to it and talk about the sound on these KZ Es4s. So the sound that these earphones produce is very good. Very similar sound to the KZ ZST Pros, if I may add. So the highs and mids are nicely balanced in my opinion, and then with the lows they are more pronounced, making the bass on these nice and booming. I am hearing a lot of ZST Pros when it comes to the sound. It's very similar. So for the soundstage it is very good as well, and then instrument separation is on point too. You really do get to hear the separation between the instruments. These are a brighter sounding pair of earphones, however not overwhelmingly or fatiguingly bright, just bright enough to get all those details within the highs. But with that you also do have some almost unnoticeable sibilance. It's sibilance at a minimum, just like on the ZSTs. So in my rough comparison between these Es4s and then the ZST Pros, I noticed that everything pretty much sounds the same, except for on the ZST Pros I noticed that there is slightly more detail and the soundstage is more open. Also, the ZST Pros are louder than the Es4s at the same volume levels. And I'll probably get a lot of flack for saying that, but honestly, this is what my ears are picking up. Two things I will say though is that sound clarity is better on the Es4s, and also instrument separation is better as well. So again, instrument separation and sound clarity is better on the Es4s than on the ZSTs. So that was my rough comparison between the Es4s and the ZST Pros. I'll definitely need to delve a little bit deeper within the sound in order to tell the full differences. But honestly, for the most part, they both sound very similar, with just some minor differences. I'd even go as far as to say that the differences are pretty much negligible. And if I haven't mentioned this earlier, these are both dual driver earphones with basically the same setup. So you have one balanced armature driver in the front, and then you have one dynamic driver in the back. So anyway, again, amazing sound for both of these earphones regardless of which ones you choose. Let's now move on to some of the other stuff with these earphones. So as you can tell, these have plastic semi-transparent shells, which you are able to see some of the internals in. The shells do feel very smooth and are overall quite light in the hand. On the sides you have the 2-pin ports, which uses the same connector cable as the KZ ZST Pros. It's the curved one. And then if we take a look at the nozzle, you can see that it is covered by a metal mesh. And then for the cable that these earphones ship out with, it is the copper braided cable. It's the new style KZ cable. I'm a huge fan of this cable over the old sticky style cable, which I was never really a fan of. So overall, decent build quality. Now let's talk about the fit. For the fit, it's just like all the other KZ earphones where it goes in my ears and it fits in there, but I do have trouble keeping them from falling out. Now, when it comes to comfort, it is about average. I didn't notice these irritating my ears when using them, except for obviously the ear hooks, as I always complain about those. So overall, these are a good pair of earphones for the price. I do believe they cost around $18, so that's around $24 Canadian. So they are a few dollars more than the KZ ZST Pros, but you are getting a newer design and you're also getting a better cable. Either way, they're both a great value for your money. One more thing I did want to mention is if you guys do decide to purchase any of these earphones, make sure to get a separate pair of ear tips, because the Starline ear tips that KZ ships out with all of their earphones are not very good. Or at least for me, they aren't very good. They just don't give me that needed seal. Now, in case you can't find a good pair of ear tips, I'll post some in the description below that I recommend in some of my other videos. Anyway, that is going to be it for my review on the KZ Es4s. Hopefully you did find this review helpful. If you did, please do leave a like. If any of you want to see more content like this in the future, please do hit that subscribe button. For now, thank you for watching, and as always, I'll catch you on the flip side.